my video. These are my thoughts on The Bear, Season 3, Episode 2. This episode is called Next. And let's see, yes. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be? This is another episode I love. And spoilers for everything The Bear leading up to and including this episode. So let's dive right in. Yeah, this was a bit more like the first two seasons of the show than the season opener for this season, which I did still like, but yeah, I hate when people are like, oh, this is different, so I don't like it. I liked the season opener as well, but this, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I quite like the how credible and entertaining the interpersonal dynamics, perhaps especially the family dynamics and found family dynamics. You know, the Sydney and Emmanuel with, you know, yeah, this thing of senior citizen father and adult offspring, and they have to deal with each other and be in, you know, try to not get too up in each other's personal space. Very credible. I like the detail about, you know, yeah, I heard you before, I just didn't react. And the thing with, you know, did you take the medicine? You've already told me twice. Well, did you? I will now. You know, that was, yeah. You know, he just has to say, no, I heard you before. I didn't do it, but I did hear you. You know, they both did a bit of that. And yeah, the TMI was, yeah, very, very credible, very relatable. Yeah, I like how Nat, you know, a lot of the episodes she's just staying out of it because fuck. But, you know, eventually she does. She and Sydney are basically the adults in the room, which is very, very credible. For you know, women to be the ones to try to calm things down, whilst these, you know, white men are just literally just shouting "fuck you" at each other and not at all being constructive. Neither of them willing to be the bigger person. Yeah, I thought the bit with Marcus really worked. I thought that was very heartfelt, and I love how the show can, because, like, you know, a lot of the show is very stressful, and sometimes it's funny. Like, yeah, the shouting fuck back and forth over and over was pretty funny. I wonder if the screenwriter got carpal tunnel from all the copy pasting, and yeah, you know, in addition to all that, it can also be this sweet, heartfelt thing of, yeah, Marcus talking about, you know, I was here when she died, you know. And I do appreciate Carmi saying, you know, some of us know how you feel right now, you know, it's, yeah. I like the bit about, you know, the facts are coming, you know, facts, plural. How many? At least 2, less than 5. How many are there total? 8, 9. I always forget about one of them. You know, that's, yeah. Some families get big, you know, and yeah, I forget exactly who, but one of them is like, how, you know, it's you know, it's scary that there's that many, you know. Yeah, and Ted, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Just, yeah, you know, everybody else is trying to not be too just, yeah. And I also really appreciated how that was like yeah, mentioning Claire was, you know, like for all the shouting fuck you back and forth, you know, when Richie says, you know, yeah, brings up Claire, you know, he actually sort of does apologize. He's like, that was a little low. And I think it's Sydney who goes, a little? She's got such great lines this episode. Honestly, there's so many situations, you know, that we see about in the media where I wish that Sydney would just pop up, like during various presidential debates, just pop in and say, would both of you just shut the fuck up? That was just perfect. But yeah, once Richie mentions Claire, obviously all of them want to know, what the fuck did you say to her, man? And, Ted has to really put his foot in it. And, he's like, okay, so if this is okay, you're here, that would make me more than okay. No, I mean, I'm on a ladder, so it's reversed for me. Wow. I did like the, Tina, at first she's like, what the fuck? And then she's told, oh, you're going to have more responsibility. Oh, I like that. That was a nice, because we know that from earlier. She feels like she's ready to move up. Let's see. Fuck Carmi for saying, it would take forever to explain this to you, Natalie. And I do appreciate that she's also like, I think, what did she say? Something like, I think my heart broke just a little bit there, or something, just, yeah. Her mentioning the pregnancy, like, that's not 8 a.m. stuff. That's like, what was it, 4 p.m. stuff. Yeah, I like the thing about the repeat of the, that's non-negotiables. Like, at first it's like one or two people. At first it's just Carmi saying non-negotiables, and later I forget who it is, but at one point someone comes in and at least two people say it at the same time, and when the last person comes, Marcus comes in, everybody says non-negotiables completely in unison. That was great. Jimmy had some great moments. The just I own this place, so fuck you. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And the Nanya. What's Nanya? None your fucking business. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and apparently there's a group chat for everyone except Carmi about Carmi's fuck ups, I guess. So that's. Honestly, that's probably a good idea for them. Richie called someone a replicant. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm almost certain he said replicant in an earlier episode, and he said that Carmi's like a baby replicant. He's called him baby before. I don't recall him calling, or at least little kid, like infant, something like that. I don't think he's combined the two before, but yeah. Richie dropping this, I want to say that's like psychology jargon and just being really obnoxious and smug. It was fun when Richie and Carmi are being complete babies to each other, and both of them saying, Sydney, would you please tell Chef, and when Sydney, the thing with the non-negotiables, and Carmi starts to explain, and Sydney's like, you shut the fuck up. I'm going to deal with this because clearly you can't be, you and him cannot talk to each other. Clearly, you've demonstrated that, I feel like I've been here for an hour. You two are giving me a migraine from the base of my skull. It's such great dialogue. And Carmi's like, those are non-negotiables, and Sydney's like, these are non-negotiable. It comes. Oh, okay, yeah. I sense some sarcasm. Sarcasm, no. Snark, contempt. Let's see. Yeah, Sugar's off-screen lines were great. Like at one point, Neil is like, Nat, please help. I don't like the vibes in here. And Nat's just like, it'll be fine, sweetie. And one of them shouts like, Nat, can you please come help? Nope. That was great. Yeah. I think that might... Right, yeah, I liked the bit with the the wine tasting, and Neil is like, oh, can I go wine tasting? Or can I go to the winery? You don't like grape? You're allergic to grapes. And the thing, is this the scratch and sniff book? And he's like, oh, don't say that. And then he opens it and tries to like sniff it just to see, is it? And that might be about what I had to say. Fuck. I feel like there's at least one thing that I really wanted to say. Yeah, I appreciate all the criticism of the non-negotiables, technique, misspelled, but whatever. In Karmi's defense, double check your spelling was not one of the non-negotiables. And let's see, yeah, and she types it up and makes so that makes copies, I think, so that they can all have and at one point Sydney's like, what was it like of the place? Is that what you think Ms. Ms. en place or something means? It's just, yeah, some really great. I really appreciate it. Several characters ask Carmi why, and at first he really struggles with it, and eventually he's like, I gotta prove myself to them. And I think it's Sydney who asks, to who? What is this really about exactly? Because the place is a success. It went really well at the end of season 2, other than him getting locked in the fucking freezer and all. But it was a success from a like the restaurant guests, clients, customers, whatever. You know what I'm fucking talking about. They all loved it. Yeah, like Jamie Lee Curtis showed up and hit it at the fucking park as usual. It was a success. So but yeah, Carmi, I'm thinking we'll get more into this over the course of the season. This is only like episode 2, I think is probably like 8 or 10, something like that. But yeah, it seems like he's just not. I can imagine he's one of those people who just can't quite accept when he's won. He feels like he has to keep pushing, and if he, and not only himself but also others, and in a slightly unhealthy way. Good detail about the smoking. I mean, the 5 minutes it's going to take him is one good reason. Another is the fact that he completely fucked up in the earlier episode, leaving his smokes right next to the stove. That should also really motivate him to stop. I think that might. Yeah. Yeah. Richie, complaining about the tables, and the thing, oh, you've never left Chicago. Okay, let's not bring Chicago into the, that was a great. Cause like, dude, Carmi, are you? You're fucking trying, aren't you? You're just looking for his buttons and slamming your hand, palm first, right down on his buttons. You know that's gonna fucking set him off, obviously, But I did, a great thing with the oh, you worked in a, was it 5-star restaurant for 10 minutes and now you're an expert, and let's see, yeah, the phone call and Richard like mocking it, and Carmen's like, that's not what I fucking said, yeah. And also, yeah, Carmi's saying, what about what you said to me through the freezer? And Richie's like, what, like, I love you? I don't think that's the part Carmi's referring to, dude. I think it might be, I forget the exact words, but he said something like, I hope you freeze to death in there. I hope you fucking die. Something like that. I think that might be the part that Carmi was like upset about. And Carmi makes a good point. Richie didn't apologize as Carmi did. Let's see. I think that. Fuck. I feel like there's just one. I feel like fucking Columbo here. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. I don't know. Maybe that was. Oh yeah. The thing with it's on the the computer. which computer? The computer. Oh, that clears that up. No, and they, oh, the computer's a person, and the thing with the lawyer, yeah, that guy. Pete. That's one thing. One point off this episode. Don't promise me Pete and then don't deliver. There better be some Pete later in this season, because I fucking love Pete. Like, I said this before. Of all the characters on this show, there's no one I relate to more than fucking Pete. And, like, yeah, seeing all the times where he's, like, embarrassed and such, not necessarily my favorite fucking thing in the world, but I do really appreciate seeing, I really see myself in him in more ways than I'd like. So IMDb trivia. The word fuck is used 68 times in this 22-minute runtime, excluding titles and theme music. So yeah. The word chef is used 24 times in the 22-minute runtime, excluding titles and theme music. This episode is the 4th episode that attempts introduction actor film credit titles with opening titles. Don't know why that says attempts. I mean, I feel like it succeeded? Whatever. Richie calls the dining area his dojo and states, "Fear doesn't exist in my dojo." This is an almost direct quote from John Kreese in The Karate Kid. Right, at one point he also said this other thing that sounded really familiar. What was it? Hold on, does it have... There's some memorable quotes entered, and it's... There we go. Okay, apparently not. Fuck, what was it? Right. He says the 8:51 P's, 10:55. I'm trapped in a prison of my own making. Is that a fucking pie quote? That's, seriously respect quote. 26-year-old movie. Although, wait, I guess this episode is not necessarily set in 2024, since the course of the show, is still, it hasn't been that long. Anyway, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Certainly if it's not, it certainly could be. Both the mentioning the time and the specific saying, trapped in a prison of my own making. He very much is in that movie. Let's see. Yeah. I should be able to do an episode some point next week. That's the plan. Really, really enjoyed this one. It's pretty wild that they managed to make it this entertaining, this engaging, this, like, emotionally affecting even, when, like, 80% of this episode is people standing around the kitchen table. Like, it's one location, just people keep pouring in and talking to each other. Like, there's almost no physical action at all. In a show that's otherwise had a lot of that. There's a lot of this show that's like people, very, moving fast and dealing with the food and all, where in this episode the food's almost all been made at the start of the episode. Well, yeah, pretty much. And the, I'd say, like, the episode is maybe 30% just Richie and Carmy just shouting, "Fuck you," and slight variations of that, really illustrates the how versatile a word that is. Yeah. I no longer like the Boondock Saints, the movie, but there's a couple of lines that I might still quote, because those are still pretty good.